Thursday, May 29th, 7 a.m. in my bedroom. I just got out of bed 30 minutes ago, but I'm still totally exhausted, mostly due to excessive worry and sleep deprivation. My life would be perfect if I could sleep late, watch cartoons, chillax, eat yummy snacks, take a nap, and go to school for only half a day. Yes, I'll admit it. I wish I was back in kindergarten. My life was so simple then. I checked my email, and there weren't any new posts about Andre and me. Thank goodness. I did receive that packet of info about the Paris trip. It said the flight is going to be 7.5 hours, which is really long. But it's going to be a breeze compared to the horrific 90-minute plane trip I took with Brianna last summer when we went to visit my aunt in Indiana. It started with a really long wait in line to get through airport security to board the plane, which meant wandering through a crowded maze, taking off our shoes, and then walking into that thing that looks like a space pod. Brianna was bored out of her mind and sticking a wad of bubble gum up her nose, I am not lying, when she suddenly pointed and screamed, "Hey, look! A puppy!" Sure enough, there was a security guy with a German shepherd on a leash sniffing for drugs, bombs, or dangerous toiletries, whatever those dogs are trained to sniff for. "Brianna, that dog is busy working," my dad explained. "So please don't bother it, honey." In spite of my dad's warning, she quickly dove under the divider, rushed over to the dog, threw her arms around it, and gave it a big hug. My mom gasped, and I frantically dashed after Brianna. Luckily, the dog just sniffed her and licked her. "I love puppies." The grumpy security guy scowled at Brianna and said, "Step away from the dog, miss." Brianna's eyes got huge. My parents froze. I quickly grabbed Brianna's hand. "Sorry, sir, she's just a little kid," I apologized. But he just glared at us. "Both of you, step away from the dog," he shouted. Brianna and I scrambled back to our spot in line, while the dog just wagged his tail. My bratty little sister had almost gotten us arrested by attack-hugging a security dog, and we hadn't even made it to the plane yet. Unfortunately, it went totally downhill from there. Since we had left the house at 6 a.m., I was hoping she would sleep on the plane, but I couldn't have been more wrong. She was so hyped up on sugar from an overpriced airport breakfast of donuts and hot chocolate that she probably wasn't going to sleep for at least a week. Thanks a lot, Mom. To make matters worse, this was Brianna's very first trip on a plane. And unfortunately, we didn't have 4 seats all together in the same row, because each row had only 3 seats. My parents sat together, and I was stuck sitting with Brianna a few rows behind them. Brianna demanded the window seat, so I was trapped between her and this businessman who kept on elbowing me as he typed on his laptop. "Why aren't we flying?" she asked, 2 seconds after we sat down. "Brianna, people are still boarding the plane," I explained. "We'll be leaving soon, okay?" "How about now? Is it time yet? When are we going to fly?" she complained. Mr. Laptop Guy was straight up trying to kill us with his eyes. I mean, I wanted Brianna to shut up too, but why was he giving me the evil eye? Once everyone was seated, the flight attendant started her speech about what to do when the plane crashes into the ocean. I'm not going to lie, that speech always makes me a little nervous, so I kind of understood when Brianna started to freak out. But my little sister took freaking out to a whole new level. Is my seatbelt tight enough? Promise you'll do my air mask first, Nikki. A water landing? Where's my life vest? Brianna panicked. Then she climbed out of her seat and crawled underneath it, even though the plane was already taxiing on the runway. OMG! I almost had a heart attack when Brianna pulled out the life vest that was attached to the bottom of her seat. Hey, she can't do that, Mr. Laptop Guy huffed, looking up from his computer. Yeah, well, you're not supposed to be on your laptop during takeoff either, I shot back. But I just said it inside my head, so no one else heard it but me. I pulled Brianna back into her seat and grabbed her seatbelt. Okay, so have you ever tried to put a seatbelt on a child who is kicking, screaming, and having a temper tantrum while wearing a life vest aboard an airplane? Well, I have, and it's pretty much impossible. Brianna, take off that life vest now, I hissed, and get back into your seatbelt. But that lady said we're going to have a water landing, she screamed. We're flying from New York to Indiana. There will not be a water landing, I tried to reason with her. You don't know that for sure, she whined. Actually, I do. What about lakes and rivers and swimming pools? She cried. Okay, so maybe my sister had a point, but still. I was like, sorry, Brianna. Crashing into a swimming pool is way better than another minute stuck sitting next to you on this plane. Look, Brianna, if you chill out, I'll let you play Princess Sugarplum Adventures on Baby Unicorn Island on my cell phone, okay? But she didn't answer, because right then the plane lifted off the ground, and our ascent into the air felt a lot like a roller coaster going up a huge hill. That's when Brianna started to scream at the top of her lungs. Would you please tell her to be quiet? Mr. Laptop Guy grumbled. Sorry, I mumbled. Brianna, hey, look at me. We're okay. You wanted to fly. We're flying. Like fairies. Like unicorns. Unicorns don't fly, a woman muttered behind me. She was not helping. Thanks for nothing, lady. And I know unicorns don't fly, but this was a very stressful situation, okay? Is she all right? A flight attendant said, gripping the top of Mr. Laptop Guy's seat. I don't think she was supposed to be walking around yet, but Brianna's screams were hard to ignore. Not really, I sighed. Is she actually wearing her life vest? The attendant asked in disbelief. Duh. This lady had a really strong grasp of the obvious. "I'd like a different seat," Mr. Laptop Guy snarled. "Brianna, honey, why are you screaming?" asked my mom, who was now standing up in her row. "Ma'am, please sit down now," the flight attendant snapped at her. "That is my daughter," Mom shot back. Suddenly, Brianna stopped screaming and pointed out the window. "Wow! Cotton candy clouds!" After that, Mr. Laptop Guy switched seats with my mom, and Brianna only screamed again when the plane ride got a little bumpy. No! And when someone flushed the toilet on the plane. And when the flight attendant offered her apple juice because the airline didn't serve Princess Sugar Plum Punch. And when we were landing. And when it took 10 minutes to get off the plane. And in the airport when Dad wouldn't let her ride on the baggage carousel with the suitcases. I could not believe the moment Brianna chose to finally fall asleep. In the rental car as we were pulling into my aunt's driveway. "Oh, she's sleeping like a little angel," my aunt gushed, gazing at her through the window. In spite of the fact that Brianna had been acting like a Tasmanian devil in pink Barbie sneakers, my mom actually agreed with her. That's when I totally lost it. Really? If Brianna is an angel, then maybe she can fly herself home. Sorry, people, but I will not be sitting next to her on the return flight. But I just said that inside my head, so no one else heard it but me. Hey, I really love my little sister. It's just that sometimes I can't help but wonder what it would be like to be an only child. Anyway, I've finally decided to break the news to Brandon about the trip to Paris when we hang out at Queasy Cheesy this weekend. Then maybe we can both meet Chloe and Zoe at the cupcakery and tell them about everything. I've decided not to worry about those stupid photos for now. Andre's last day here at WCD is tomorrow, and then he'll be going back to NHH. So it will be impossible for anyone to post new photos after that since we won't be around each other anymore. I guess those haters will have to find something else to do. Thank goodness all this photo drama will be over in 2 more days. I just hope my BFFs don't see them before then. Fingers crossed. I already feel like a humongous weight has been lifted off my shoulders.